Yeah, I still kind of have like a little bit of a mess kind of in the back because I'm figuring out still like how to like where to place everything. Yeah, start the recording right now. All right, let's get into it. Let me see where the screen is. All right, we'll put this over here, put you guys over here. All right, cool. All right, let's start it up. All right, let's do this. All right, so area of interest. So today we are going to be covering how do you mark off these areas of interest. And it is going to be so simple. As soon as you guys see it, it is going to be impossible to unsee it. So before we get into that, we're just going to touch up on the same trade that we were taking, that we've been kind of starting off the week with, or we started off the bootcamp with. So here, yes, the recordings are fire. So yeah, so we'll start off here. Weekly still bearish. Daily time frame is still bearish. Again, we are in between these two lines, meaning that daily time frame is bearish. And then as you can tell, the 4-hour has now shifted bullish. So this trade right here was a loss. It happens, simply move on. If you guys can remind me at the end of all of this, so we put up all of our confluences for this trade. This trade was almost a B setup, and I want you guys to see how I made this trade a B setup, why I took it, so on and so forth. But shows you even having a B trade setup, you can still have the trade hit your stop loss, which is part of the process, right? So we're going to be touching up today on area of interest. And in order for you to touch up on area of interest, we're going to have to kind of go back to where we were yesterday in a way, right? So let's start off with here. So let's say this market right here. Let's do this. All right, so is this market bullish or bearish? What is this market? What is the market structure here? Okay. All right, I'd say 95% of you guys got it. Seen a couple wrong ones. So let me do this. Disable right here. All right, so this market structure is bullish. You guys can see here, we went, hold on, let me make it blue because that means that we're bullish. We went from creating whatever, higher high, higher low, higher high, structure. We didn't break above either points, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then we did a lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, making this time frame bullish, right? So this is where we're gonna come here, and let's just call this the weekly time frame that we are bullish. So again, if you guys remember yesterday's rules, if we're looking to take a swing trade, intraday trade, whatever, the most ideal thing is you need to buy at a weekly or daily area of interest. And then where I mark off both. So I mark off a weekly area of interest, and then I mark off daily areas of interest. And then I try to find the zones right in between both of them, because sometimes the weekly and daily are at the same spot, creating a super, super juicy, strong zone, right? So where would our higher, well, I mean, what's missing from this chart right here? What's missing? Are we missing Bollinger Bands? Are we missing fucking Fibonacci? Are we missing? Well, I don't know. What are we missing? Oh, correct. Joseph got it. Sonia got it. Harry's got it. Muhammad got it. Dylan got it. Okay, so we are missing higher high, and we are missing our higher low. These are mandatory to put on your charts, and you guys are going to see why in just a second. So when you're looking for a buy, because we are obviously, let's say we're looking for buys because we are bullish, a lot of people make the same mistake and start doing this. All right, this right here is a strong level of support. This right here is a strong level of support. This right here is a level, whatever. A And I'm like, all right, dudes, like you guys need to understand. Let's say this is a strong level of support here. Yes, for sure, a fact. Price comes up here and then it rejects. But if the price goes there, we are now bearish. We are no longer looking for buys because the time frame has shifted. So in order for you to look for an area of interest, you're supposed to only look for an area of interest within your higher high and higher low point. So this is where I get my box. I zone it off, and then you literally just scroll to the left, and you're only looking for buys within this zone. Anything under here, we are now bearish. Anything above, or if this keeps going to the upside, so does your higher high, so does your zone to look for buys. So this is the zone where now you're looking to mark off a level of support and resistance. So this would be area of interest 1, let's just call it, and this would be area of interest 2. Why is this area of interest 1? Let's just make these adjustments here so it kind of looks a little realistic. Because if you notice, we in order for us to go long, we expect this to have a pullback to go long. The goal of us is to figure out when this is gonna stop before it has the push up, right? Do we agree? Type 1 if you all agree, type 2 if not. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, so we're all trying to figure out when is this shit gonna stop and give us the push to the upside. Well, we kind of could figure that shit out because of previous data, history, and building probabilities. So what are the odds of this price coming here and going to the upside? Not really much. There's nothing here supporting it to go up. So what is the next spot that it can pull up to? This spot right here. If you notice, we have 1. You guys still hear me? Like, you guys still hear me good with the mic at this far, crispy, clear as fuck? Yeah, I'm still okay, perfect. So this right here, as you can tell, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections. In order for you to mark off an area of interest, you guys can type this down, tattoo it, whatever. In order to mark off area of interest, you need a minimum of 3 taps. So as you notice, this is a valid area of interest because we have more than 3 or more taps. So this is an area where there's a high probability of it coming in, rejecting, and heading to the upside. Let's say for whatever reason, price breaks through here, because shit happens, price doesn't give a shit about our area of interest, the probability just wasn't good. There's another one. Where can the other one be? Can it be here? There's literally nothing. Our next spot can possibly be here. If you notice, we have here, let's just get these same circles. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, making this another valid area of interest. So what do? Yeah, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taps. Oh, 6 right here. Great. I saw somebody pointing it out. All right, so this has 6 points of a rejection, making this point pretty valid. So this would be weekly area of interest 1. This would be weekly area of interest 2, meaning whenever price retraces into this spot, we want to apply the strategy. I still haven't taught you guys my strategy. Like, all I'm teaching you guys right now is just how to read the market. That's all I've been doing so far. Like, getting you guys to properly understand market structure. This is just how to understand it. Before I keep going, did you guys see this before like this, or is this like a little bit complicated? Is it easy? What do you guys think? Genius, easy? Because I feel like nobody teaches it like this, and it's very difficult for people to not have. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess this is part of my strategy, how to find the areas of interest, but I feel like it's very simple to me. This is just how you pretty much find it. So when price comes into here, this is where you apply the strategy to take the trade. If the strategy does not align, you wait for it to come to the next area of interest. If price comes into here, if does not align with your strategy, you wait for it to come into the next area of interest. So let's say our next area we pretty much just go down. If you notice right here, we have one tap, nothing else. It is not a valid area of interest because we do not have 3 points. So we keep it going, We just keep moving this line down. And when we notice, what a coincidence, this spot right here has 1, 2, 3, and let's just do this one here for the example. 4 taps, making this our weekly area of interest number 3. So in order for us to take the swing trade, we're looking to buy at this point, apply a strategy. If it doesn't work, this point, apply a strategy, doesn't work. This point, apply a strategy, and it doesn't work. But you're only looking to buy within this box. So what do you guys think so far? Is that simple? Is it clear? What do you guys think? My boy Monte over here is tripping. Understood, clear, simple. This is very simple. Very, 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 very simple. And this is to just find area of interest on the weekly. And guess what? This is the exact same thing you'll do on the daily time frame. It's the same shit. Nothing changes. Everything remains exactly the same. But you guys are seeing the importance of marking off the higher high and the higher low, because you're not supposed to look for an area of interest under the higher low, because now you're bearish. You're pretty much just broken the structure. Now you're not looking for buys, right? So how do you guys feel with this? Like, keep in mind what I said at the beginning. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? So when we go over the charts now, you guys are going to be like, right there, it's right in front of me, right? So you guys ready to go to the charts, or want to do another example? I feel like we're ready for the charts. Let's do it. All right, perfect. All right, let's see. All right, let me just delete all of, actually, you know what? I'm gonna just leave it for like example purposes. All right, so let's go to an example that is bullish. So let's start off here on the weekly time frame. For this case, let's see. All right, cool. So let's see right here, right? So is this time frame bullish or bearish? Bullish or bearish? All right. Okay. Exactly. This time frame is bullish. So we went from creating lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This I don't count as an elbow. So this would just be our higher high. So what do we do now? Do we look for the area of interest? Do we take the trade? Do we set and forget? What do we do now at this point right here? Matthew got it. Mark got it. Gustavo got it. Henry got it. Right? Tim got it. Julio got it. Exactly. So we need to get our higher high. And then we need to get our higher low, which would be at this point right here. So we know we are bullish on the weekly time frame. So weekly is bullish. Daily time frame, are we bullish or bearish? Bullish or bearish? Very easy. Celeb is like, bro, I already know this shit. Okay, so this is bullish. We have the same higher high pretty much. And then we have the same higher low. So let's mark this off as the higher low. And let's mark this one off as the higher high. Again, ideally, you would just want to make this visible on the weekly. So when you go down, it doesn't get messed up. But I'm going to leave it now so you guys kind of just understand, right? So before we look for area of interest, we got to understand what the fuck are we doing? Daily's bullish. And now is the 4-hour bullish or bearish? Yesterday was one thing, now today is another. It's crazy, right? Oh shit, my bad. Come on, Joshua. I see you squinting, man. Okay, so this, let's just see. I'm not gonna say anything, right? This is all I'm gonna do. High, higher low, higher high, low, high, higher low, higher high. I would personally maybe consider this a lower low, because if you notice it kind of went sideways, did have a little pullback, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So this right here, if you were to do the snake tactic, you just test it out. Again, like when you go straight, it could pass, could not pass, could be very subjective. So that is going to be entirely up to you what you would consider an elbow. I personally myself would consider this an elbow simply because we did kind of exactly what you would do at the top of a move. Left head, a little, right shoulder going on there, whatever. So that's the only reason why this right here is not an elbow. This right here is a little iffy, a little iffy. This is obviously an elbow. So you just gotta like see it a bunch of times, and then based off of how many times you see it, wherever you see it, you consider it like the strength of it, right? Like you gotta see it over and over and over and over again to be like, yeah, this shit is bullshit. That's not an elbow. Or this is, you get me? But you build that over time. So for now, we'll call this bullish. 4 hour is bullish. So I'm a tricky guys. What do we do now? What do we do? Do we look for area of interest? What's the next thing? So right now, technically, this is a 30% trade towards our grade. What's the next step? What do we do? All right, all of you. Okay, Eduardo got it. Eduardo got it. Celeb got it. I see you, bro. I see you. All right. All right, who else? Victor got it. Joseph got it. All right. What are we doing? Are we 1, 2, or 3? So we're not looking for area of interest yet. We got to first understand, where are we? Are we at a high? Are we at a low? What the fuck is going on? And ideally, you would want to do it based off of area of interest, but I like to do it just off of like, are we here? Are we here? Are we here? Like what's going on, right? So technically right now, the weekly, I would consider this maybe a 1 or 2. So we'll just put 1/2. For the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, I would put basically a 2, 3. And then for the 4 hour, it doesn't count because we're only looking to buy at a weekly and daily area of interest. 4 hours just for structure purposes, right? So we come up back out on the weekly time frame, and then all we're looking for areas of interest are within this zone. It's a very common mistake because people now they'll start doing this up here. Oh, yes, this is a nice level of support, resistance. But yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, facts. But bro, by the time we get there, we just missed who knows how much. Or they'll put a nice area down here. Like they just completely don't even understand where they are within the move. So in order for us to buy, we need to find an area of interest on the weekly. We get our zone, draw it all the way out to the left. There's nothing else here to the left. So we don't have to go that far. Furthest we have to go is pretty much right here. We go to this zone right here. So let's just take this out, it's like confusing me. So we start from the top down because obviously we want a higher low to go up. So we will start from the top down. We're like, all right, cool. What do we need? We need the first area where we got 3 taps. All right. What a coincidence, pretty much already where we've all right, great question. So before I get into it, somebody asked, what's the furthest you would take the zone? And ideally, the furthest you could take the zone is to this point. Because again, anything above this point, we are bullish. So you can find an area of interest that's literally right here and it makes sense. Anything under, now you completely invalidate the higher low, you are no longer bullish. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Type 1 if yes, type 2 if no. Perfect. So if where would be like the most ideal for me, I really don't care. Just wherever the strategy applies at the area of interest, that's all I care. You get me? I don't really care. I'm not biased. I just want to take a trade that makes sense. So if you notice this point right here, we have 1 tap, 2, almost 3, 4, 5, and then 6. I kind of count into the zones, wicks, and some of the bodies. And I'll be showing you guys in a little bit how I mark it off. But for now, we'll just do it like this. We'll get some wicks and some bodies in here. And then you can tell this would be our area of interest number 1 on the weekly time frame. Was that simple? Was that hard? You guys need me to say it again? What do you guys think? Simple, clean, easy, super easy. So now we know we want this pullback here in order to go to the upside. So then we keep it going because there's a chance that price can break through here and not go up and keep going down. It needs a bigger retracement, whatever the case is. So then this is where we would get another zone and just do it like this and just start from this point right here. We keep coming down. If you notice right here, we kind of have 1, 2, and then not really 3, so I wouldn't count that. If we keep coming down a little bit more, we notice we just have 1. If we keep coming down a little bit more, we notice here we kind of have 1, 2, and then maybe 3 with these points right here. So it really, again, comes up to you. I personally would not count this as weekly structure points, but if we go down to the daily, I'm extremely sure this looks beautiful on the daily. So yeah, you can see how on the daily it's marked off as strong level of resistance, some support throughout here. But on the weekly, I wouldn't really mark it off as an area of interest. So this would be kind of my only weekly area of interest where I'm looking for this trade to go to the upside. Can this weekly have a longer retracement to go to the upside? For sure. And that would probably be that exact same zone because it's kind of the only zone that has some taps other than this right here that we only have 1 tap. Does that make sense? Is that clear? What do you guys think about that? Any questions on that? So the more taps the area of interest, the more significant, of course, man. Like the more fish you see, the more probability you're gonna catch them, for sure. The more taps a zone has, like this one, the more respected it is, the more price actually, cares about it. What do you consider a tap? These are taps, like when it hits it. For example, I can literally just get this horizontal line right here and just put it in the middle. You see, it's like whatever, but you start dragging it down a little bit and you notice you'll enter, let's say, a spot like this, where you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not really, 9, 10. You just keep moving the line down and you notice like, oh shit, these zones here are actually being respected. So they'll probably respect it again in the future. How many areas of interest do I look for? As many make sense. I've had up to 5 areas of interest because they're just clean, you get me? I just came on this first example. Body or wicks, we'll get into that. I'll try my best today, but like I want you guys to get this concept first and then how I kind of zone it off. So basically, how we're doing it weekly here, get to the inches, hit before actually trade, wait for the confidence. Essentially, essentially. Can we do this in the 4-hour? Yes, you can do this in the 4-hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever time frame you want. Just you got to know how to grade it properly, right? So right now I'm just teaching you guys how to mark it off, how to get it. And then hopefully like the last day, I can maybe give you guys like the whole entire grading process based off of the time frame, so on and so forth. Quick question, as soon as price gets to the area of interest, we place a trade? No. Once it gets to the area of interest, that's when you apply the strategy. Right now we're just waiting, like right now we're just setting the trade up to meet our requirements. Very simple example is like, let's say you're a you're an investor, you buy houses. Just because, let's say your ideal investment is to buy a house with a 2-floor house. It has to be in a community. It has to have a pool, a lake in the back, and a garage. Just because you find a house with all of those things doesn't mean you're going to buy it right away. You got to see if it has the right price, if it's in a good neighborhood, if it needs demolition, if it needs reconstruction, if it has a lien on it, if the association, like there's so much more that goes into it. Just because you see the house doesn't mean, yeah, fuck it, we're buying that shit. That's not the most logical business decision as an investor. It's the same exact thing as trading. Just because price got to an area of interest, fuck it, 10 lot that shit. That's not how it works, you get me? You get like there's a lot more that goes into it, and that's what messes up a lot of traders because they don't have that self-control. They don't have that, like they don't have somebody, at least I think, like me saying like, yo, it's not ready. Like there's a lot more that it goes into the trade. You get me? If you want to treat this like a business and be here for the long run. And just because it's so easy, it's so accessible, a lot of traders make mistakes because they're like, oh, like it's just a touch of a button and it's right away. That's why like there's so many emotions in trading, because you can be up or down so fast and it gets to everybody. Just because you can be up very fast, you can be down very fast. And it's the same approach as many things like real estate, like the example, but it's obviously a lot slower. So does that clear up some things? How was that analogy? Fire, clean. How do you deal with the clutter of areas of interest on the 3 timeframes? Great question. Somebody asked, how do you deal with the clutter of area of interest on the 3 timeframes? So we'll get into that now as soon as we start finding the other timeframes. All right, so now we understand this is going to be our weekly area of interest. Dope, gangster. We don't really need this zone right here. So we know we're looking to come back here and buy. Cool. So now we go down to the daily time frame. We go down to the daily time frame. And then on the daily time frame, what we're going to do is we're going to mark off our area of interest red. So we'll make it red. So we know the difference between the weekly and the daily. So if you notice, this is our higher high, and this is our higher low on the daily. So tell me if this is a clean area of interest for the daily. We have 1, 2, 3 taps, and then this area of interest right here is also pretty solid. We have 1, 2, 3 taps. What do you guys think? The boy CJ is like, yo. Exactly. I tricked a lot of you guys. I'm tricking a lot of you guys. So if you guys noticed, these are not areas of interest, because if price comes into here, you are now bearish on the daily time frame, breaking the structure. And this is the importance of marking off the higher high and the higher low, because you need to throw your box. Once you get your box, you now know you are only looking for buys in between this zone. So again, you get your little box, you throw it out to the left, you can go as far as you want, really. And then if you notice, we start from the same thing. We'll start from the top down. Obviously, we kind of already know like what's kind of happened, but let's say if this were to be like this, let's say if this were to be the high, you're like, all right, we need a pullback to start taking this trade. So if you notice, I usually throw it on with the ray, like a horizontal line like this. Right here, we kind of have one tap, nothing really right here. Doesn't really look that clean. Here we kind of have 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe you can mark this off as an area of interest. So this would be, let's just call it daily area of interest 1. Daily area of interest 1. And then let's say you want to get another line like this. You keep it going. And then let's say you run into this point, nothing really that clean here, but you look more left. If you notice, you have a nice level of support, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Let's say you want to call this your daily area of interest 2. And then your most ideal area of interest will be your previous structure point. Before I go into that, you guys need to understand previous structure point is literally what it says. It's the previous structure point. That's it. It's really not that complicated. It's really that simple. So it's the same thing for sells. Let's say you're looking for sells. You're looking to sell previous structure point. It's the most ideal trade setup. Can you still get a nice area of interest from a spot that is not the previous structure point? For sure. Facts. This one right here didn't reach the previous structure point. Look at the sell. But the most ideal setup is at the previous structure point. So if you notice, right now we have 3 areas of interest, right? Bear with me. This is about to get very clean in just a second. So if you notice, this is where you got to ask yourself, and you got to be logical. You got to be like, all right, Alex, does this make any sense for this daily move to have a little petty pullback to go to the upside? Probably not. So we just come in here and we delete this. And then you come here to your daily area of interest 2, daily area of interest 3, and you say, holy shit, doesn't that line up with my weekly area of interest 1? What a fucking coincidence. So what do? You now mark both of these as a zone where now you have not only daily of area of interest 1, daily of area of interest 2, but your weekly area of interest as well. So now you have a juicy ass spot where you're expecting for price to have a retracement into, to then reject and go to the upside. You guys are seeing how we're mixing weekly area of interest when you go down to the daily. We're making that box a lot more narrow. So if this would be the weekly area of interest box, we would figure it out how to make it more narrow into where it gets the most touches, where we have it right at the top of this. Same thing with this one, same thing with here. And then we remove this line as our area, this line, so on and so forth. And then now you have a weekly area of interest and then a daily area of interest in the same exact spot. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think so far? Fire, simple. It's very simple. I'm telling you, as soon as you see it one time, like you'll get addicted to doing these things, like finding these areas of interest, right? So like, just to show you guys, this guy said my brain. All right, so just to show you guys that I can do this with any pair, anytime, I'm gonna open up the chat. All right, so like this is except like you guys can see the messages, right? What chart do you guys want me to do this in? Whatever I get the most requests from, you guys like I'll do it. Yeah, for some reason that's not from chat. Let me see. Okay, I think they're coming in direct. Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. So you guys are seeing the majority there. I think everybody's saying GJ. The majority is saying GJ. All right, we'll do GJ. Okay, so just to show you guys on GJ, we'll delete all of this. We'll pretend like none of this stuff even exists. All right, cool. Literally, I'm gonna delete everything. Are we bullish or bearish? Come on, Monte. Bullish or bearish? Exactly. So we are, let me just delete this. We are bullish. We are creating high, higher low, higher high, whatever, lower low, higher high. So we mark this off as our higher high. And then we mark this off as our higher low. So we got here, weekly is bullish. Daily time frame. Daily time frame, are we bullish or bearish? I mean, it kind of, because like this, by the way, is a trade that I would not be interested in. But just to show you guys, if we were to take a trade, how we would mark it off. But this is just a market I'm not interested in. Bearish, bullish, let's see. So we have here lower low, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low. We are technically still bearish on the daily. So daily time frame is bearish. So now we go to the 4-hour. And then on the 4-hour, are we bullish or are we bearish? It looks choppy, but the market structure is correct. The majority of you guys got it. Yep. We are bullish. You guys can see here how we went from creating higher high, higher low, whatever, lower low, higher high. Cool, simple. So now we understand we are bullish. So now we go back, we reset, we go back out to the weekly time frame. And now let's say we're gonna go with the buys because we got obviously 2 time frames in sync for buys. Those are like, all right, bet. What is the weekly doing? Yeah, we got 20% for buys. So let's say here 20%. So now we get our zone and we would mark it off. Very simple. Since this is the weekly, we'll put it blue again. Draw it out to the left. Now we know we're only looking for areas of interest within these zones here. So if you notice, we start from the top down. We pretty much had nothing here. Holy shit, what a coincidence. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 taps. So when the weekly comes back into this area, you're expected to have a push to the upside. Let's say price breaks through this for whatever reason, we got to find another area of interest. So we'll get another little zone, we'll draw it off, and then we keep going down. We realize this is just very choppy in here. I'm sure we can go more left and we can find more taps, but I try to keep it as frequent as possible. You go too far left, and then not that the points won't be valid. I just want to keep it as close as possible. Because the market's definitely moved different now. We all know this compared to 2016. So I try to keep it as close as I can if price allows me to do it. So this right here, this is pretty much nothing. We keep coming down. Oh wow, what a coincidence. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 taps. So to the person that asked the question before, this can be a very much valid area of interest. Why? Because we are still within our zone. Does that make sense? Type 1 if yes, type 2 if no. Easy money, right? So for now, we'll just take off this box. We don't need it. We'll take off this box, but we don't need it. And then we'll leave this visible on just the weekly time frame. Let me see here. How do you do this again? Double tap it. There you go. Visibility. Only make it visible on the weekly. Same thing for this. Only visible on the weekly. So now we go down to the daily. And if the daily time frame is bearish, we gotta obviously mark off our lower highs and lower lows. So you see here, this is the lower high, and then this is the lower low. We are yet to break through any of these points. Look at the importance of the body candle closure under. I want you guys to understand that. That's how the body didn't close under, meaning we're still bearish. So we're not looking for buys on the daily. We can't mark off an area of interest because we're bearish on the daily time frame. Does that make sense? We can't put a buy area of interest on the daily because we are bearish. That's it. You got me? There's nothing else to it. It's just you're selling on the daily. You got to wait for it to be buying in order to look for buys on the daily. So if this does this, now you would wait for a retracement here to go buy. Because then if this does a higher high, lit, so then the area of interest, this would be like this. This would be the higher high, and then this would be the higher low. This would be the first area of interest right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 taps. This is where you wait for the retracement, take the trade, go to the upside. Does that make sense? Too fast? I just don't want to get too advanced at that point, but I want you guys to just get like the overall sense of it. Bro, I've never seen this side of Alex. Yeah, I mean, nobody really sees this because it's just like I'm just doing my thing. I mean, you trust me, you guys will get this over time. You just takes practice. So this right here, we have the lower low, we have the lower high. We can't look for sales on the daily because we can't look for buys on daily because we're bearish, and then we're not looking for sells because there's only 10% towards your grade. So now sells are out of the picture. You guys are seeing how simple that is. Like there's no give me a reason to take this trade short. There's going to be no reason because the other time frames are bullish. So you have no point of arguing with me. And this is where I would respectfully, like the students from the 30-day bootcamp, like, try me. Like, tell me, try me right now, make me sell this thing. It's kind of, it's not going to make any sense, bro, for you to take this up. So what we'll do is we'll put this back to the visible on only. We won't make it visible on the hourly, so just so we don't get confused. And now we go down to the 4-hour because we got to look for an area of interest on the 4-hour to take the buy. So if you notice, if this were to be the higher high, which we kind of already basically missed the trade, but the moment this shifted to bullish, so once this shifts to bullish, this would be Josh already sees it, bro. Here's like, wow. So let's say this would be the higher high. We'll come here, we'll go higher high, and then we'll go right here. We'll go higher low right here, higher low. What do? We get our zone. What we'll do is we'll mark it off in a yellow color. No, you can't even see yellow. We'll do orange. So we know it's the 4 hour. We get this, draw it out to the left, and we just need a little retracement to take the trade by. So we're going to find our area of interest. So let's say this is our zone. We were to start dragging down. What do we notice at this point? We extend it a little bit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 taps. You get to pull back to your area of interest, rejection from EMA, set, and fucking forget. Pretty simple, but the overall is just market structure. What do you guys think so far? Is it clear? Is it complicated? What do you guys think? Give me your thoughts, please. Literally, your thoughts help me a lot. Exactly. Whenever everything has a higher high, you want to wait for the higher low. Which area of interest do you use? So great question. And this is something that comes for just the next classes, because there's 2 types of trade. You take the swing trade, take the day trade. We take all the trades that make sense, because once you have the checklist, you know exactly what you're going to be looking for. I got a question. I lost it. I've never seen the market this clear, bro. Trust me, it's simple. And again, all I'm teaching you guys right now is just how to read the market. I'm not teaching you guys anything else. I'm just teaching you how to read the market the right way, as best as I can. Within the guided bootcamp, I show you guys how to do everything. Like take the swing trade, day trade, scalp. Like I show you how to literally do everything. Throwing the fib away forever, bro. Facts. I just have it here because it looks cool. Like, you know, never mind. I can't say this joke. I see some girls in the Zoom. Cannot say the joke. But yeah, we don't use the Fibonacci at all. Everything we've done right now is just with this line right here. So yeah, so let know this up. Is this the last day? No, it would be, but I told you guys I got 2 more days for you guys, so I got you guys. Trust me, I'm gonna try my best. 2 days on me. Don't even worry about it. Kalu. Did I get it now? My first language is Spanish, man. So my English is getting better. Kalu. All right, gotcha. Is there gonna be another 30-day boot camp? Probably not, man. No shot. It's a lot of work. I'm gonna try my best. So let me just stop.